Yes. Okay. Just a moment. Recording has been started. Okay. So everyone can see the presentation slides.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay. So we have reached uh, to the last part of our strategic management, that is strategic evaluation and control. This is the last chapter. This is hopefully a very small chapter comparatively whatever we have done with respect to unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3. Okay, this is comparatively a small chapter because the major portion we have already completed in chapter 1, chapter 2 and chapter 3. So when you see the entire sequence of strategic management subject, okay, the chapter 1 consists of the meaning and the concept of strategic management, okay, which includes the vision, mission, objectives, plans, okay, how to form the vision statement, what are the various characteristics of a vision statement, mission statement, objectives and goals, okay, how the organization should do the planning, okay, how they should make the entire strategies on paper, okay, how it should be work in the existing market as well as into the new market. Whenever the organization want to launch a product in a existing market, or they want to enter into the new market, they want to enter into new premises, they want to enter into new market segment, this all we have studied in chapter 1. In chapter 2 we have studied the concept of strategy formulation, how to make the strategies, how it is important for the organization to make the strategy on paper, okay, what are things that needs to be keep in mind while formulating strategies. We need to understand the environmental factor, the business environment, okay, what is the product and services all about, in which business we want to get enter, what the business is all about, who will be our target audience, okay, how big strategies we need to make, how much different kind of strategy should we have with us. These all things we have studied strategy formulation. In unit 3 we have studied the strategy implementation, where you actually put the entire blueprint into the action, ओके, जहाँ पे आप सारा प्लान्स यहाँ पे इम्प्लीमेंट करते हो. इन चैप्टर 3, दैट इज योर स्ट्रेटजी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. you physically you execute the entire plan. Without execution of a plan or without execution of a strategy, the strategy has no worth. So it is very important for the organizations to to implement strategy in a proper way. We have also seen the Michael Porter 5 force model. We have seen the BCG matrix model, which consists of stars, cash cows, dogs, and we have a cash cows, we have a star, we have a dogs, and one more concept we have in BCG matrix model. Then we have also seen the McKinsey 5 force model as well. So the implementation factor, okay, how it is so important, how it is so crucial, which plays a very important role when you implement strategies practically in a market. Now in chapter 4 we'll see the strategy evaluation and control. जैसे हमने strategy के लिए पूरा प्लानिंग किया, उसको फॉर्मुलेट किया, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट किया. नाउ इट इज टाइम टू इवेल्युएट एंड मेक श्योर दैट कि वॉट एवर स्ट्रैटेजीज वी हैव implemented, does that strategy has played is effective role or not. We need to evaluate that strategy, we need to give a score, we need to understand कि जो जो हमने प्लानिंग्स किया था, जो जो हमने स्ट्रेटेजीज बनाया था, वो सच में इफेक्टिवली काम किया कि नहीं किया. Does that strategy has achieved the goals and objectives of the organizations, yes or no? If yes, what new kinds of modification we need to do so we can get more further profits, or we can generate good amount of income or revenue. If the organizations has not achieved its targets, they have not achieved its objectives and goals with the implemented strategy, what are the various modifications we need to do so we can gain good amount of profit in future. That's why we need to evaluate our strategies. अगर स्ट्रैटेजी आप इवैल्यूएट नहीं करोगे तो आपको पता नहीं चलेगा कि हमने कितना बेहतरीन स्ट्रैटेजी बनाई थी और वो कितना इफेक्टिवली मार्केट में काम किया. नाउ यू हैव स्टडीड द एंटायर सेमेस्टर 3. ओके, बीएमएस सेमेस्टर 3 आपने पढ़ाई किया. जब तक आप एग्जाम्स नहीं दोगे तब तक कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा कि आपको सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर है या नहीं है, आपको सारा चीज समझ में आया कि नहीं आया, आपको कॉन्सेप्ट कितने समझ में आए. तो वी कैन रियली अंडरस्टैंड दिस विद द हेल्प ऑफ द मार्क्स. वॉट एवर मार्क्स यू स्कोर्स इन अ पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट, उसके बेसिस पे आपको हम जज कर पाएंगे कि हाउ मच डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड द सब्जेक्ट्स. That's why strategy evaluation is important, and the necessary control where we need to make the improvements, that is also need to be understand by the organizations. So this we'll see in the chapter 4. First, every strategy is a subject to the future change because internal and the external factors are constantly modifying. Strategies needs to be changed on a regular basis because there are various factors which comes under the internal factor as well as the external factor, which keeps on changing, which are getting modified on a regular basis. In the strategy evaluation and control process, manager determines whether the chosen strategy is achieving the organization objective or not, whether whatever strategies we have selected, we have choose, does that objectives has really acquired the objectives of the organizations or not. Evaluation and control information must be relevant to what is being monitored. Establishment of environment assumption basic to strategy and plan. Monitoring the environment factors so as to deter any significant deviation. You need to see, you need to monitor whether there is any deviation or not. Deviation का मतलब होता है कि कुछ changes है या नहीं है जो हमने standard set किया था. जैसे हमने standard set किया था कि हमको 80% सेमेस्टर 3 में चाहिए और आपने कितना स्कोर किया, that needs to be checked. तो standard percentage of a student which was expected from a student, that was 80 percentage, and in actual performance student have scored only 65 percentage. तो जो deviation है वो है 15 percentage का deviation है. तो why that 15 percentage deviation occurred, what is the reason behind it? Does the concept wrote by the person in the paper was not clear, the presentation made by the student in the paper was not clear, the writing part was not clear, he did not describe the answer, was not clear. So you need to understand where you have lost that 15 percentage. So companies also need to monitor the entire strategy implementations in a proper way to make sure that whatever objectives are set by the organization, it can be achieved in a better ways. Reassessing the strategies, goals, and plans. If you find the recognizable deviation, the company also need to reassess. They have to recheck on a regular basis whatever strategies they have implemented, whatever goals and plans they have implemented, and recognizable deviation जो भी होगा वो उनको ढूंढ के निकालना पड़ेगा. Again, once they have found out the deviations, they can again make the strategy, they can formulate the strategies and implement into the process. So there are steps in evaluation and control slash process in strategic evaluation. First, you need to set the standard of performance. As I said, first of all, the organizations need to set the standard. जब तक आप लोग स्टैंडर्ड नहीं रखोगे तब तक कंपनी को मालूम नहीं पड़ेगा कि हमको क्या बेंचमार्क लेके चलना है. ओके, जैसा मैंने आपको बोला कि I need to sell almost 10,000 laptops or computers in a market. This is a standard performance we are expecting in a quarter. एक क्वार्टर में, एक 3 months के टाइम में we need to sell at least 10,000 laptops. So we have made the strategies, we have understood the target audience, we have understood the entire market segmentation, we understood how the competitors will be reacting to our strategies, we formulated the strategy and we implemented the strategy. So first of all, the organizations is always need to make a perfect standard of performance ki we need to sell 10,000 laptops. Then you need to measure the performance, you have to conduct, you have to do the measurement कि कितने सारे आपने लैपटॉप्स बेचे. Okay, कहाँ कहाँ पे बेचे, कैसे बेचे, ओके, हाउ मच टाइम इट took, to whom you did you sold, how much money did we acquired from that entire measurement. You need to start measuring the performance. So there are also the difficulties are there whenever you start doing a measurement. So difficulties in measuring matlab whenever you do the measurement can be done in two part, that is a qualitative and a quantitative. So qualitative is much more difficult for the organizations to measure कि इसको किस तरह से हम काउंट करें. See, whenever you do the quantitative measure are is always in numbers. कि yes, in first month we able to sold 3000 laptops. Okay, so we can easily see how much sales we have done. But when you talk about a qualitative measurement is bit difficult. अगर मैं एक वर्कर का प्रोडक्टिविटी के बारे में बोलूँ तो मैं वर्कर का प्रोडक्टिविटी आराम से चेक कर सकता हूँ बिकॉज इट इज इन नंबर्स. लेकिन मैं प्यून का परफॉर्मेंस कैसे चेक करूँ, क्योंकि प्यून का परफॉर्मेंस इज समथिंग लाइक बिट डिफिकल्ट फॉर दी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कि उसको किस तरह से जज करें. So performance of a peon is something like much more difficult because it is a qualitative, it is not a quantitative. वो numbers में नहीं है. तो प्यून का परफॉर्मेंस को मेरे को अगर जज करना है फॉर एग्जांपल उसका जॉब सेटिस्फैक्शन, उसका रिवॉर्ड, द एब्सेंटिज्म, द लेस नंबर ऑफ एब्सेंटिज्म अगर रहेगा तो ही इज डूइंग वेल इनटू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस. So these are the factors are there whenever you start measuring the performance in the organizations. Secondly, timing. Timing is more important when you start doing a measurement. See, before completion of a time, for example, हमने एक क्वार्टर बोला है, 3 महीने का टाइम बोला है. 3 महीने के पहले ही अगर हमने परफॉर्मेंस जज करना चालू कर दिया तो दैट इज नॉट राइट. We need to make sure that the 3 months time period should be get completed. Secondly, if you start measuring the performance after the completion of the time, आफ्टर लॉन्ग टाइम, फॉर एग्जाम्पल 3 महीने के बाद आपने चौथे महीने या 5वें महीने 6वें महीने में आपने उसका मेजरमेंट चालू किया तो भी उसका कुछ मतलब नहीं है. So once the time period is get completed, immediately you need to check the measurement of the performance. अगर आपने टाइम से पहले किया या बहुत देर से किया तो भी वो परफॉर्मेंस अच्छे से कैलकुलेट नहीं होगा. So it is the work of organizations to make sure that whatever timings are there that needs to be checked properly, and you should not check the performance before time. Secondly, you should not check the performance of the organizations in a long term, मतलब बहुत टाइम के बाद उसको नहीं चेक करना चाहिए. Then periodicity in measurement. Again, periodicity matlab on a regular interval. How frequently or regularly you check the performance of the organization. Now it is also a difficult part. See, some companies do the checking of the performance on a yearly basis. कुछ काम ऐसे होता है कि आप yearly basis पे check करते हो. कुछ काम होता है जो आप half yearly या 6 monthly आप check करते हो या quarterly check उसको करते हो. There are some reports are also there which needs to be checked on a daily basis. तो daily basis पे reports आप जब check करते हो तो again it is a difficult task for the organization कि how do we start measuring the performance of the organizations on a regular interval. So when the company has a different intervals, periodically interval में अगर बोलेंगे तो yearly, half yearly, monthly, okay, weekly और daily report जब आप आते हैं तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होता है टू मेक श्योर दे हैव अ प्रॉपर मेजरमेंट. देन यू नीड टू कंडक्ट द वेरिएंस एनालिसिस. वेरिएंस एनालिसिस मतलब कहाँ पे डिविएशन है. Thus, the organization has a deviation whenever they have conduct the performance measurement. जब भी performance management होगा तो वहाँ पे किसी टाइप का deviation है या नहीं है. We have targeted almost 10,000 laptops in the end of the quarter. How much laptops we have able to sold in a market? हमने कम से कम एक 6,000 लैपटॉप मार्केट में सोल्ड कर दिया या 8,000 लैपटॉप्स मार्केट में सोल्ड कर दिया. सो अगर हमने 8,000 मार्केट में सोल्ड करे तो 2,000 का जो हम लोग का टारगेट था वो हम लोग ने फुलफिल नहीं कर पाए. सो इट शुड बी अंडरस्टैंड बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दैट देयर इज अ वेरियस there's a deviation, okay, with the standard performance and what is the actual performance. तो एक्चुअल परफॉर्मेंस हम लोग का कितना था, 8,000 यूनिट्स वी हैव सोल्ड, एंड स्टैंडर्ड परफॉर्मेंस व्हाट वी सेट for the organization was 10,000. So yes, there's a deviation, there is a gap, there's a variance. So for that you need to take the corrective measures, you need to take the corrective actions. You first of all कि आपका कहाँ पे गलती हुआ, कि does we have set the higher target, हमने टारगेट कुछ हाई तो सेट नहीं किया ना, हमारा स्ट्रेटेजी जो बनाया था विद रेस्पेक्ट टू द एम्प्लॉयज, विद रेस्पेक्ट टू सप्लायर्स, विद रेस्पेक्ट टू कस्टमर्स, with respect to market, with respect to the consumers who was there, वो पीरियड में किसी और कंपनी ने कुछ अपने प्रोडक्ट्स मार्केट में लॉन्च किए क्या, कैसा वो प्रोडक्ट था, किस तरह का प्रोडक्ट था. तो यू नीड टू स्टडी द मार्केट सो यू कैन टेक द करेक्टिव एक्शंस. इन दैट करेक्टिव एक्शंस ईदर यू कैन रिवाइज द स्टैंडर्ड. रिवाइज स्टैंडर्ड्स का मतलब होता है जो हमने 10,000 यूनिट सेट किया था, वो 10,000 यूनिट्स को हम लोग रेड्यूस करके 8,000 यूनिट्स, या यू कैन कीप एटलीस्ट 8,500 और 9,000 यूनिट्स. सो यू कैन रिवाइज द स्टैंडर्ड. सो स्टैंडर्ड इतना भी लीलेंट नहीं होना चाहिए जो एम्प्लॉयज उसको बहुत लीनेंसी ले. इट शुड बी चैलेंजिंग. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि शुड बी इम्पॉसिबल. It should be possible, but it should be challenging. So you can keep 9,000 standard. Sometimes you can revise the objective as well, or again you can revise the objective. जहां जहाँ पे लग रहा है आपको वहां पे आप अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव चेंज कर सकते हो, तो वो भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है. you if you think that ki whatever strategies you formed for the organization was not really good, so companies या organizations always have a backup plans. They almost have two different kinds of strategies with them, so they can surely go for different kinds of strategies. They can go for a plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever it's plan suitable for the organizations, for the environment. You can select those strategies. Then you can revise the structure, systems or support. If you think that ki baba the deviation occurred due to the structure, the hierarchies of the organization, the hierarchy was not right. There should be a flat hierarchy, there should be a vertical hierarchy which can give a positive results. So you need to change that structure. You need to change the system, how the rules and regulations or norms formed by the organizations, if it was too strict for the employees to follow, that also needs to be restudied, that needs to be remodified, so the employees can be work in a better way. Because if you put lots of rules and regulations on the head of the employees, it will reduce the productivity of the employees. जितना उसको फ्री हैंड दोगे उतना ही आपको अच्छा खासा what you say a good amount of innovations and you can get good amount of creativity. जितना उसको प्रेशराइज करोगे उतना ही वो अच्छे से काम नहीं कर पाएगा. Again you require support resources. So whatever support resources, for example operational facilities, human resources are there, infrastructure facilities है, वो आपको अगर कुछ चेंज करना चाहिए, वहां पे हमारा अच्छा सा कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ है, या एक्सपेक्टेड टेक्नोलॉजी से हमको अच्छा आउटपुट नहीं मिला, फैसिलिटीज व्हाट नॉट राइट, तो यू कैन चेंज दैट सपोर्ट. You can again revise the activity, whatever activities you have mentioned, you can revise the activities as well. So whenever you start evaluating the process, whenever you start evaluating the strategies, the four main parts are there. First of all, you need to set the standard of performance. Secondly, you need to measure the performance. Whatever performance you have done, you need to measure that performance. Then you need to do good amount of variation. You need to conduct a variance analysis. Wherever there's a deviation, you need to find out the deviation. अगर आपने 10,000 का टारगेट कंप्लीट किया या उससे ज्यादा सेल्स करते हो, तो कंपनीज कैन इजीली मूव फॉरवर्ड for good amount of new strategies, so that we can acquire 12,000 units, we can reach to 12,000 units or 13,000 units, whatever new target the companies would like to set. And if there is a huge deviation in the performance, the company should always go for a corrective measures or a corrective actions. Okay. Then there's a techniques of control are always there. The techniques have divided into three parts, that you have a strategic control technique, then they have given second control to the financial performance, the finance, the capital, whatever the money is there with the organizations, it also plays a very important role. So finance part is also plays a very crucial role. Then you have a social performance. Social performance matlab what you do for society, whatever you do for society, it comes under your social performance. So you need to have some techniques to control strategy evaluation, strategic implementation. First you have a premise control. Iska matlab hota hai you should have whatever activities have been conducted in the organization that needs to be understand. You need to control on the various activities which has been implemented into the organization. So you need to, it is a one of the kind of assumptions. So whenever strategy implementations are there, first of all whatever activities you gonna conduct in the organizations, you need to first of all make sure that ki whatever environmental factors are there, it can really hamper the implementation of a strategy. For example, inflation part हो गया, रातों रात पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो बदल जाता है, इकोनॉमिकल फैक्टर्स चेंज हो जाते हैं, टेक्नोलॉजिकल पार्ट्स चेंज हो जाते हैं, टेक्नोलॉजिकल फीचर्स बदल जाते हैं. Nowadays it is a huge way of technology. The technology is really adapting, technology is working so efficiently and effectively that ki people needs to adapt with the new features. अगर आपको जमता भी नहीं होगा तो भी आपको ये नया टेक्नोलॉजी सीखना ही पड़ेगा, otherwise you won't able to survive in a market. So first of all whatever activity has been conducted, you need to understand whatever activities are there. You need, you have to make sure that you monitor the entire activity, whatever activities are happening, you need to be monitor that on regular basis. You have to check कि जो एक्टिविटीज हुआ है उसका कुछ सिग्निफिकेंटली इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है, अगर हो रहा है तो किस तरह से हो रहा है, पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है या नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है, दैट नीड्स टू बी अंडरस्टैंड. सो प्रीमाइज कंट्रोल इज important. Second, implementation control. Implementation control means you need to monitor the strategies, you need to understand the various milestones, whatever milestones you have achieved till now. Okay, after strategy implementation you need to assess, you need to review that milestone. First of all you need to see the progress of a project, whatever strategy you implemented with respect to product and services. You need to understand कि whatever strategy we implemented, what is a progress report. Okay, does the product and services performing good in a market, whatever performance, whatever strategy we implemented वो सही में काम कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है, मार्केट में किस तरह से काम कर, लोगों को पसंद आ रहा है कि नहीं पसंद आ रहा है, what is a progress report, does the consumers or customers really liking our product and services. तो ये जो हमने स्कीम यूटिलाइज की है, जो हमने स्ट्रैटेजी यूटिलाइज की है, वो सच में काम कर रही है कि नहीं कर रही है, that needs to be monitored on a regular basis. Secondly, if it is really having a positive impact, what is the milestone we have achieved. So whatever progress we have done, whatever rewards we have got, whatever achievement we have done, that needs to be reviewed on a regular interval. तो जो भी आपके कंपनी ने माइलस्टोन अचीव किया है उसको देखना बहुत जरूरी है, वरना कंपनी के लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा टू सस्टेन. क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया और आपने छोड़ दिया, नहीं, इम्प्लीमेंट करने के बाद अगेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू चेक ऑन अ रेगुलर बेसिस. Then third, you have a strategic surveillance. Strategic surveillance का मतलब होता है, again you need to monitor in a perfect way. You need to be carefully watch what is happening in a market, what is happening inside and outside the market. Like you need to make the strategies, you need to have a backup strategies कि बाबा कोई थ्रेड तो नहीं आ रहा है आजू बाजू से, या कहीं और से तो थ्रेड नहीं आ रहा है, कहीं से तो थ्रेड नहीं आ रहा है. Okay, you need to make sure that ki there is something, you need to gather good amount of information from different sources. Just a moment. Hello. लेक्चर करतो बोला ना. हा ते सकाळी दिलं संध्याकाळ दुपारी परत देतो डॉक्टर. तिने काय खाल्लंय का? अच्छा ठीक आहे चालेल. हा ठीक आहे चालेल. त्या चॉकलेट नका देऊ ना त्याला. चॉकलेट नका देऊ त्याला. हा ठीक आहे. So you need to conduct the surveillance. You need to conduct a strategic. You need to check. You need to monitor what exactly happening in the market. Okay, you need to check what is happening inside the market, inside the organizations and outside the organizations. You need to have a control. You should always have a basic idea to encourage to form a general monitoring of a multiple information sources. Then there should be a special alert control as well. See, special alert control is something like there are many unexpected things happen in a market. आपको पता भी नहीं चलता और बहुत सारे चीज मार्केट में अनएक्सपेक्टेडली आ जाती है. तो you should have that alert control systems as well with you. कि if something happens which you are you don't have a knowledge about it, you are not aware about it, and it's happened in a market which can destroy your product and services, which can create a negative impact on your product and services, it can destroy your strategies, it can go in a negative way in your strategies. So you should always have a special alert control with you. You should always have a company always have a crisis team with them, a disaster team with them, which makes a contingency strategies. एक कंपनी के पास ऐसी टीम भी होती है जो अगर कुछ अनएक्सपेक्टेड होता भी है तो दी कंटिजेंसी टीम मेक श्योर दैट दे हैव अ बैकअप प्लान, तो वो मोमेंट के लिए हम लोग सवर जाए. अगर कॉम्पिटिटर्स ने कुछ गलत किया या कॉम्पिटिटर ने कुछ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रेटेजी यूटिलाइज किया तो दैट नीड्स टू बी फॉर्म, दैट नीड्स टू बी अंडरस्टैंड एंड दैट important steps should be taken by them. So disaster management team should be there, or you can say a contingency team who make the contingency strategies to come out with such kind of unexpected events. Then you also has a strategic momentum. Strategic momentum is something like the environment is stable. Okay, the organizations has to make a strategies. Okay, they has to make us very small changes or significant changes when there is a stable market. Okay, the companies generally do good amount of strategy implementation in a very stable market. कि we do not want to grow, we do not want to make any kind of new investments, whatever we have earning from the respective product and services we are happy. We do not want to do mergers or acquisitions, we do not want to expand our business. Okay, whatever we have we are happy, what we are earning, हमको दो पैसा मिल रहा है, हम उसमें खुश हैं. तो strategic momentum is something like the strategies are implemented in a very stable market. Whatever is going on with us, we are very happy for that. In the opposite of a strategic momentum, we have a strategic leap control. So strategic implementations are there where the market is unstable, wherever the market is unstable and you can see considerable changes, a significant changes in the market, जहाँ पे frequently changes आपको देखने को मिलते हैं, ऐसे को बोलेंगे हम लोग strategic leap control. So you should need to understand the unstable market, you need to understand what modification, the expected modification can come or unexpected modification can come, that needs to be understood by the company and strategy implementation should be done. So these are the things which can become under strategic control technique. Similarly, we have a finance related techniques, a financial performance. कंपनी को स्ट्रैटेजी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करना है, लेकिन अगर आपके पास पैसा नहीं होगा तो कितनी भी बेहतरीन स्ट्रैटेजी अगर आपके पास होगी तो भी वो इफेक्टिवली वर्कआउट नहीं करेगी, बिकॉज कंपनी डू नॉट हैव मनी. If company has good relevant money with them, they can surely implement right strategies. So first you have a activity based costing. you need to understand the various activities मतलब आपके प्रोडक्ट्स क्या है, आपके सर्विसेज क्या है, आपके प्रोसेसेस क्या है, आपके पास कितने सारे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फैसिलिटीज है, व्हाट टेक्नोलॉजी यू आर यूटिलाइजिंग. सो दिस आर ऑल द एक्टिविटीज you have. So from input to the finished goods, or you can say from raw material to the output, okay, you required good amount of money. And the focus of the organization is that they'll make sure it should have the maximum output with the low cost. जितना आपको low cost लगेगा उतना ही organizations के लिए अच्छा होगा. So that is more important for the company to have an activity based costing. So they make sure that whatever activities are there, from product or processes, they did that money should be utilized at a very lesser cost. जो पैसा लगेगा वो बहुत पैसा कम लगना चाहिए, तब जाके ही कंपनी अच्छा खासा मुनाफा कर सकती है. Otherwise company cannot have the revenue generation, or they cannot earn income. Secondly, you have a budgetary control. See, budget is always made by the organization. हर साल बजट बनता है, हर कंपनी का बजट होता है, हर डिपार्टमेंट्स का बजट होता है. बजट इज रिक्वायर्ड बिकॉज दे शुड नो हाउ मच मनी वी कैन स्पेंड ऑन अ सर्टेन प्रोजेक्ट. जो उनके पास प्रोजेक्ट होगा वो प्रोजेक्ट पे हम लोग कितना पैसा खर्च कर सकते हैं. So they should know how much money we can spend. The money can be spent on various expenditure, buying of new products, buying on new technologies, new infrastructure, new machineries, recruitment of a talented employees at the higher level, capital. You want to do good amount of investment. You need to purchase other organizations. For example, आपको mergers and acquisitions करना है तो आपके पास वो बजट सारा चीज समझ में आना चाहिए. तो budgetary control plays a very crucial role. Then you have a financial ratio analysis. Financial ratio and something like how good the business is doing right now. हम अपने फाइनेंशियल रेशियो को देखेंगे कि हमारा पैसा कितना अच्छे से रोलिंग हो रहा है मार्केट में, और हम कितना अच्छा मुनाफा करंटली कमा रहे हैं. प्लस एट द सेम टाइम हाउ कैन वी डू मोर इम्प्रूवमेंट. We need to do more improvement. So what kind of more improvement we need to do, that also need to be understand by the organization. That's why financial ratio analysis is done. Then you have a return on investment and shareholders value. Return on investment and shareholders value is one of the same thing, like whatever the shareholder invest in money, invest the whatever they do in the investment as an investment in organizations, how much they gets in return. सी अगर आप या मैं भी अगर किसी चीज में इन्वेस्टमेंट करता हूँ 100 रुपया, तो 100 रुपया इन्वेस्टमेंट करने का मैं करूंगा तो मेरा एक्सपेक्टेशन है मुझे वो 150 में मिलना चाहिए वापिस, या 200 में मुझे मिलना चाहिए. अगर आपका कंपनी का प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विसेज मार्केट में अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है तो मुझे 100 रुपए का 1000 रुपए भी मिलना चाहिए. दैट इज सेट टू बी द रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो whenever might be your father mother जो अगर कोई म्यूचुअल फंड्स में डालते हैं, शेयर मार्केट्स में डालते हैं, या फिक्स डिपॉजिट्स में डालते हैं, या किसी कंपनी के शेयर में डालेंगे, तो दे हैज अ बेसिक एक्सपेक्टेशन दैट वॉट एवर इन्वेस्टमेंट दे आर डूइंग, दे वांट गुड अमाउंट ऑफ रिटर्न्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिविडेंड. जो अगर कंपनीज में डालेंगे तो उनको अच्छा खासा रिटर्न्स मिलेगा इन द फॉर्म्स ऑफ डिविडेंड. तो डिविडेंड इज समथिंग लाइक यू गेट मच मोर मनी what you have invested. Similarly also you have a shareholders value. Shareholders value is around again a same thing, what the shareholders invested in a company, he wants good amount of returns in terms of dividend, in terms of capital gains, or you can say you can buy back whatever you want to have a buybacks, और एनी अदर मोड ऑफ पेमेंट. अगर किसी भी दूसरे तरीके से उनको अच्छा सा पैसा मिल रहा है तो वो पैसा उनके पास आना चाहिए. So that is said to be the share value. Though it is the entire responsibility of the organizations to make sure that they should increase the value of a shareholder. अगर शेयर होल्डर्स का वैल्यू जितना बढ़ेगा उतना ही लोग आपके कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करना के लिए सोचेंगे. दैट्स वाई ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस का सबसे पहले का काम यही है कि दे नीड टू इंक्रीज द शेयर होल्डर्स वैल्यू. Third, you need to also understand the society, that is your social performance. whatever product and services the companies are performing, they need to understand कि the product and services is ultimately purchased by the customer or a consumer. तो कस्टमर और कंज्यूमर समथिंग लाइक इज अ सोसाइटी और अ कम्युनिटी. सो आपको बीइंग एन रिस्पॉन्सिबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, यू नीड टू डू समथिंग गुड फॉर द सोसाइटी एज वेल. तो अगर आपने सोसाइटी से कुछ लिया है तो आपको सोसाइटी को वापस देना ये आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है. तो वेन एवर यू डू समथिंग गुड फॉर सोसाइटी, वो सोसाइटी के लिए इंकर्ड कॉस्ट, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू बिल्ट अ हॉस्पिटल, you built a school, you built a garden, you built a temple. तो ये सारा जब आप बनाते हो तो इसको भी कॉस्ट इंकर्ड होती है. तो इसके लिए जो कॉस्ट इंकर्ड होती है उसको हम लोग बोलेंगे सोशल कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस. दिस इज समथिंग लाइक इफ यू बिल्ट अ कॉलेज, स्कूल्स और हॉस्पिटल, दिस विल गिव बेनिफिट टू सोसाइटी. बट इसको फ्री में तो नहीं बनेगा, इसको बनाने के लिए आपको कॉस्ट तो लगने वाला ही है. तो दिस इज द कॉस्ट विच इज इंकर्ड बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. ये कॉस्ट जो कंपनी इंकर्ड करती है उस कॉस्ट को हम लोग बोलेंगे सोशल कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस. देन यू हैव social indicators. Now social indicators something like it can easily measure of a social well-being. It is a contemporary view of social conditions and you can monitor the social concern happening in a market. See, if you talk about a CSR activity or what you do in a social responsibility, 2% of your net profit of every company, 2% of a net profit should be compulsory, has to be utilized for a society. आपको आपके नेट प्रॉफिट में से 2% सोसाइटी बेनिफिट के लिए यूटिलाइज करना है. तो वो आप ह्यूमन कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन के लिए आप करो, या यू कैन डू समथिंग गुड फॉर एजुकेशन सिस्टम. अगर नेचुरल कैलामिटीज आपके कंट्रीज में आते हैं तो उसके लिए आप कुछ करिए. यू कैन क्रिएट जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज, और यू कैन हेल्प टू दी अंडर प्रिविलेज पीपल्स. जो अंडर प्रिविलेज पीपल्स होते हैं उनके लिए आप कुछ करिए. तो दिस इज ऑल कम्स अंडर योर social indicators. Then you also has to set some social goals. Social goals is something like you need to focus. The purpose is that you need to understand, you need to help the underprivileged people or who are less unfortunate. Those peoples who are really facing, they are really struggling in their daily lives, उनको संभालने के लिए आप कुछ करोगे क्या? दैट गोल नीड्स टू बी सेट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऑर्फनेज को यू शुड गिव मनी ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस, या किसी एक ऑर्फनेज को आप एजुकेशन सिस्टम्स प्रोवाइड करो, या किसी एक ऑर्फनेज को आप कंप्यूटर, लैपटॉप्स, ऐसा कुछ फैसिलिटी दे सकते हो क्या? या किसी किसी ऑर्फनेज एज या चाइल्ड केयर इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए आप टोटली उनके सारे बच्चों का एजुकेशन सिस्टम से लेके उनके मैरिज तक आपको सब कुछ संभाल सकते हो क्या? दिस all will come under the social performance of the organizations. So you can control, see, you need to give something back to society, क्योंकि आपने जो प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विसेज बनाया है आपने सारा कम्युनिटी से या सोसाइटी से लिया है. So you have to give something back to society. So that for that you really has to set some goals. So these are the three techniques of control which come under strategic control: financial, जो आपका working capital है या पैसा है, and social performance का मतलब होता है कि you need to do something for a society. Then you have the different concept called synergy. सिनर्जी पता नहीं कितने लोग ने सुना है या नहीं सुना है, मालूम नहीं. सिनर्जी इज अ वेरी सिंपल टर्मिनोलॉजी विच सेज दैट कि rather than working as an individual we should work together. rather than we should you when you start working at an individual person, आप इंडिविजुअल पर्सन से वर्क करने से बेटर है हम साथ में काम करेंगे, एज वी विल शुड वर्क टुगेदर. that is the very small and very basic concept of call synergy. ये बुक में लिखा है 2+2=5. दिस इज कॉल्ड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सिनर्जी. मेरा तो यही सिंपल टर्मिनोलॉजी है कि rather than working individual you need to work together. Synergy is two or more things working together in order to create something that is bigger or greater than the sum of an individual efforts. जो एक individual person के effort से create होगा, उससे बेटर है कि हम लोग साथ में jointly काम करेंगे. जितना एक इंडिविजुअल क्रिएट करेगा उससे ज्यादा ही एक दो या तीन लोग साथ मिलके काम कर सकते हैं. दैट्स सेड टू बी इन योर synergy. So in organization also, whenever the product and services are done, okay, strategies are implemented, it is not something like it is meant for a single department or a single employee. Whatever strategies are meant for the entire organizations, and entire organization has to work as together as a team. So only we can achieve our targets, we can achieve our goals, or what we can achieve our objectives. Whatever objectives are set by the organization can be achieved easily with the help of teamwork. We can work together and we can achieve our targets. So there are different types of synergies are also there. First ever, you have a financial synergy. Financial synergy is something like the company should have a separate financial departments, okay, which makes sure that each and every department, that would be finance, so that would be marketing, HR, operational, production department, ITs, logistics, warehousing, जो जो डिपार्टमेंट रहेंगे उनको सारों को रेगुलरली फाइनेंशियल बेनिफिट्स मिलना चाहिए. जो जो उनको फाइनेंस का रिक्वायरमेंट है, उनको पैसे का रिक्वायरमेंट है, वो पैसा का रिक्वायरमेंट सारा चीज परफेक्टली सॉल्व करें. उनको जो जो दिया गया है काम, जितना भी पैसा चाहिए, अगर वो पैसा परफेक्टली यूटिलाइज हो रहा है तो वो पैसा परफेक्टली यूटिलाइज करने के लिए उसको अलॉटमेंट होना चाहिए. प्लस फाइनेंशियल एनर्जी का ये पर्पस है कि शुड नॉट डू द वर्क, और वॉट एवर वर्क दे आर डूइंग शुड नॉट बी हैपन ट्वाइस. So better we should have a proper financial resources, so which we can utilize in optimum way. तो उसका ऑप्टिमम यूटिलाइजेशन आप आराम से उसको कर सकते हो. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कल कोई डिपार्टमेंट को पैसे का जरूरत पड़ा, या दे वांट टू परचेज सम मशीनरीज, दे HR डिपार्टमेंट वांट टू हायर सम एम्प्लॉयज, प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट वांट टू परचेज सम मशीन्स, और दे वांट टू परचेज सम टेक्नोलॉजी. तो ऐसे वक्त पे पैसे का कमी नहीं होना चाहिए. तो जो जो रिक्वायरमेंट होगा, अगर वो रिक्वायरमेंट हमको प्रॉफिट दे सकता है तो वो हमको परचेस करना ही चाहिए. तो फाइनेंशियल सिनर्जी का ये मतलब है, कंपनी शुड मेक श्योर दैट दे फुलफिल द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ all the other department with respect to money, with respect to capitals. Second, you have a management synergy. Management synergy is something like the management has to understand the problem faced by the different departments, so they can resolve the problem, they can solve the problem easily. Also, they can take a better quality decisions which will be helpful for making creativity and innovation as well. Also, the management synergy will plays an important role to create good amount of leaders. अच्छा खासा अगर लीडर है तो वो लीडर को रेडी करने का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होता है मैनेजमेंट का. प्लस इफ वन डिपार्टमेंट is not having a proper team or good amount of team, so we can transfer one person to the other person who really has a good skill sets, जिसके पास अच्छे खासे स्किल सेट्स होते हैं. वो स्किल सेट के बंदों को एक डिपार्टमेंट से दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट में हम लोग उसको ट्रांसफर करके वी कैन मेक अ बैलेंस वर्कआउट इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस. Then you have a sales synergy. Sales synergy is more importantly will come under the marketing departments. They need to focus on different advertising, sales. They need to acquire the targets. Whatever target they have achieved, they want to achieve, they have to work together. So they need to form a common marketing team. उन लोगों को एक कॉमन मार्केटिंग टीम बनाना चाहिए. They should have a common distribution channel, they should have a common warehousing facilities, they should have a common sales force as well. So whenever you have a common person for every other components, you can work together for different product and services. तो आपको आपके पास 4 से 5 अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विसेज है, तो अगर चार से पांच अलग प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विस को अगर चार से पांच अलग अलग टीम रहेगी तो थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होगा कंपनी को टारगेट अचीव करने के लिए। लेकिन अगर यू हैव अ कॉमन टीम who will be focusing on 4 to 5 products, they can easily can achieve the targets of an organization. They can easily do good amount of sales. So common marketing strategy you can make, you have a common marketing team and you can really procure the higher sales, and the expenditure will also be at a lower side. जो आपका expenditure होगा, they can be at a very lower side and you can increase the image of a corporate levels. Then when you talk about an operational synergy is something like whatever is happening on a shop floor, whatever work, whatever actual work is done by the employees in an organization, that is said to be your operational synergy. In operational synergy, if there is an organization, they should utilize a common space. A common space can be helped to utilize the other space to other work. अगर दो कंपनी है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल वोडाफोन एंड आइडिया इज नाउ मर्ज्ड, सो व्हाट दे शुड डू, वोडाफोन का जितना भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फैसिलिटी है, तो वोडाफोन एंड आइडिया के सारे लोग एक ही ऑफिस में बैठने चाहिए। उससे क्या होगा, अगर कॉमन स्पेस शेयर करेंगे तो जो आइडिया का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है वो स्ट्रक्चर प्रोडक्शन के लिए आप यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो, या आर एन डी के यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो, या किसी और चीज के लिए आप यूटिलाइजेशन उसको कर सकते हो। दैट्स वाई व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट एन ऑपरेशनल सिनर्जी, you need to make sure that कि it saves lots of fixed cost. ओके जितना भी आपका फिक्स कॉस्ट है वो सेव करेगा, बिकॉज यू आर शेयरिंग द ऑफिस स्पेस। wherever there is an assembling line in an organization, वो अगर आप लोग ने शेयर किया तो वहां पे भी आपका अच्छा खासा पैसा बचेगा, बिकॉज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल, प्लांट एंड मशीनरीज, फिक्स कॉस्ट, रेंट, ओके, एम्प्लॉय सैलरीज, सब कुछ वहां पे आपका एक ही जगह पे हो जाएगा। तो rather than working in different infrastructure, वोडाफोन का अलग और आइडिया का अलग, it is better that we'll work together as a synergy part and we will use a common space. So common space will save our much more money. Then you have an investment synergy. Again, you need to do good amount of investment part, rather than doing a separate investment. You need to do a joint investment if there is a mergers and acquisitions. तो जहां जहां पे merger and acquisition होगा, वहां वहां पे आपको एक jointly investment करना चाहिए। तो whenever you do a joint investment, you can always do a heavy investment in a market. अब अच्छा खासा मार्केट में हेवी इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऐसे वोडाफोन एंड आइडिया, तो वोडाफोन और आइडिया अगर सेपरेटली इन्वेस्टमेंट करेंगे तो थोड़ा कंपनी को डिफिकल्ट जाएगा, क्योंकि they will be wasting money on two different parts which will perform a same kind of functioning. Marketing वोडाफोन भी करेगा, मार्केटिंग आइडिया भी करेगा, प्रोडक्शन प्रोडक्शन वोडाफोन वाले भी करेंगे, प्रोडक्शन आइडिया भी करेगी। उसके बाद कैंपेनिंग या कैनवासिंग वो भी करेंगे, वोडाफोन वाले भी करेंगे, आइडिया वाले भी करेंगे। सो इसमें क्या है कि इससे हम लोग का ही नुकसान है। तो व्हाट दे शुड डू, दे शुड डू द कॉमन इन्वेस्टमेंट। तो प्लांट एंड मशीनरीज, लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग एक कॉमन रखेंगे, वहां पे सारा फंक्शंस होगा इन लोग का, तो इन्वेस्टमेंट हेवी होगा, so they can save money, and whatever other money is there you can put in a different projects. So that's why it is said to be that rather than working as an individual person or individual department or organization, they should work in a team, they should work together. So these are the 5 different types of synergies. Then there are also synergy as a component. It's one of the component of a strategy as well. You need to first understand the scope. How, what kind of scopes you can see whenever you utilize a synergy. इसमें कितना scope है, okay, to get good amount of profit. First of all, you need to understand the industry, which type of industry it is, what kind of product line we are utilizing, then in which market segment we are working on, in which market segment we are really performing. That needs to be understand. You need to collect good amount of information about the business from the environment. You need to have good amount of information. Then you also need to collect the information related to strength and the weakness of the organizations. You need to understand the project feasibility, how the project will really work on, whatever technical facilities are available with the organ, that needs to be the information should be collected, how much money the organization is really having with them, and if we work together, what kind of probably return on investment we will getting. That needs to be understand. Okay, that needs to be understand when you have a proper scope. So there is scope whenever you do good amount of synergy with the two organization. Then you need to set goals and objectives. Both the organization needs to set the various goals and objectives of an organizations. For once you set various goals and objectives for the organization, you need to do the resource allocations. Resource allocations का मतलब होता है कि फाइनेंस, मनी, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स, ओके, कैपिटल, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, आईटी फैसिलिटीज, लॉजिस्टिक्स जो जो आपके लगने वाले, कितने सारे ह्यूमन रिसोर्स आपको लगेंगे, वो सारे चीज का आपको allocations करने पड़ेंगे. And last, you have a competitive advantage. So you need to make sure that you get good amount of competitive advantage, because both the companies are working together. तो ये दोनों भी कंपनी साथ में मिलके they can try to sell the product and services at the best price, as the price served by the competitors के प्राइस पे या उसके 19-20 के प्राइस पे आप उसको बेच सकते हैं. अगर कॉम्पिटिटर्स 20,000 में मार्केट में बेच रहा है कोई प्रोडक्ट, तो आप उसको 19,200 या 19,600 ये प्राइस पे आप उसको बेच सकते हो. बिकॉज मेनी कस्टमर्स और कंज्यूमर्स मैक्सिममली सी दी लोवेस्ट प्राइस. जो कंपनी आपको बेस्ट प्राइस देती है with same features, the customer always try to purchase those products. So synergy will always help to understand the competitive advantage. So both the companies can really understand the market, and they can try to give good amount of competition to the rival organization. You can say the competitors. जो जो competitors market में होगा, उसको अच्छा खासा टारगेट या उसको अच्छा खासा टफ कंपटीशन देने की वो पूरी कोशिश कर सकता है. So these are the various components of synergies which can be utilized as a strategies in the organizations. Okay, understood itna? Okay. हेलो, सब सो गए क्या?
No, sir.
बहुत
No,
कम
sir.
लोग बोलते हैं. So here we have completed half unit. Okay, and half unit we can complete tomorrow. तो आपका पोर्शन यहाँ पे खत्म हो जाएगा. Only 5 slides are remaining, तो 5 slides we can complete tomorrow. Okay.
सर,
Yes.
आप ये वीडियो कहाँ शेयर करते हो?
यूट्यूब चैनल देखो, यूट्यूब चैनल मेरा
अभिराज रावल.
अभिजीत रावल, अभिराज शिवदास है.
अभिजीत, सॉरी सॉरी, अभिजीत.
हाँ हाँ. क्या अरे फैकल्टी का नाम भी तुमको मालूम नहीं है अभी तक. चलो नो प्रॉब्लम. तो यूट्यूब का चैनल पे मैंने अभी तक बहुत सारा वीडियो डाला हुआ है. ये भी वीडियोस में भी डालूंगा. ओके, आज शाम को या कल तक आई पोस्ट द वीडियो. तो वहां पे आप जाके सारे कॉन्सेप्ट देख सकते हो, वीडियोस देख सकते हो प्रॉपरली. ओके, तो शैल वी स्टॉप हियर नाउ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tomorrow we can finish the remaining part. Okay,
Okay, sir.
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.